Well, hey there, everybody in Facebook land and YouTube land and anywhere else that you're watching from. Hi. How's it going tonight? Once again, I'm considerably late. I don't know if I can be on time. I'm kind of questioning whether or not I have an internal clock at all. I do, but it's not terribly accurate. I think it loses a little time every year. Okay, so I'm going to go and invite some people to come and watch the show. Because if you don't invite people, a lot of times they don't come. Hey, Joanne. Hey, oh, you missed me. Aw, that was so nice. I missed you guys too. I thought about you. When I'm not on, I do think about you guys. And I'm like, wow, I wonder if they tuned in and I wasn't there. But sometimes I just have to take the day off. Um, I can't, some days I just can't function. I have fibromyalgia and some days I can't bring it. I try to be on every time I'm supposed to be on, but it just doesn't always work. So anyway, here we are. I'm here. So now I'm gonna share it to some things here. I'm on the things. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but let's see if I can switch out to go to myself here. Um, let's see. Although it would probably go to a lot of people if I shared it with things. So, because they have um, a lot of followers and viewers. So, yeah, it is. It's tough to get relief from it. It's tough to just maintain, on a daily. Sometimes it's really tough, and I just can't manage it. But most days I can rise to the occasion. Do whatever it is that I need to do. But telling you what, there's some days when I just can't hardly get out of bed. And it's tough to get everything done that you need to do. And it's tough to just show up some days. So, Bob's here with me. Bob's a little shithead. We let him out. He got out, whether we wanted him to or not, but he got out. And he was roaming around the park. And it's a big park. It's like 17 miles or a park or something. It's huge. So, and it's forest. So he was just having a great old time. And he was didn't come back, and we had to leave, and because we had some things we had to take care of. So then later on, I went back for him, and of course I had food. Don't do that, Bob. I had food, and so then he was more than happy to show up. Hey, Julie, how you doing tonight? Um, so yeah, he was yeah, sowing his oats. Well, he would, but he's well, the story goes that when I first got him, we called him Ball Bondage Bob. Well, then I had to take him to the vet, and he came back as just Bondage Bob. And then it was, I caught him on Grinder one night. He was, shuffling through Grinder. So we called him Bisexual Bondage Bob for a while. But I think he was just bi curious. So yeah, it's all good. Bob was just bi curious. The adventure's still going. I have Sparky here with me. I got one of these nifty color changing candles. It's like a citronella candle, but it's color changing. It's neat. I'm kind of a kook when it comes to lighting and stuff like that. So anyway, and you can see I have the other lights back there too, and I have these nifty little laser lights too going. So yeah, I like lights. I'm a Libra, so I kind of dig sparkly stuff. Anything that lights up or anything that's sparkly or somehow eye catching. my eye will catch it. I'm like a magpie. It's bad. But it's, we're having a good time. And we did today, we took a little, I wouldn't even call it a swim. I waded out to the river, but it was fun and it was nice and it was really warm. The water's like 80 degrees. It's incredible. And so that was enjoyable. Sam and I took a little swim, and because we're staying at a campground directly on the Mississippi, and so that's nice. And the last one we stayed at was on a lake and the Mississippi. So there was water on all sides. It was great. And I remember camping there like 25 years ago, maybe 30. And we took the horses and stuff and we went camping, and it was my ex's dad, my daughter's granddad, who's passed away, his girlfriend at the time, who also has since passed, and their two friends, which I think there's one of them still left. Oh, saw the picture of the lake. Yeah, it's nice there. It was lovely, except for the girl Maddie from the marsh. I gave her my tandem kayak because she's living down here in on the Mississippi, and I thought, well, she could probably use it, So, and she's a nice girl who's a conservationist, and so I gave her the kayak, and she brought it over because we were going to go out on Lake George. Well, turned out it somehow got a hole in it, and so here we were tootling around. We were getting ready, heading out. Yeah, we're gonna go do this. We're gonna go to this alcove, and we're gonna do this and that. And about 3 minutes later, we're pedaling for shore. We made it back to the landing, so without actually sinking all the way. Stop it, Sally. Sally's in here with me. She's nosing the candle a little too close. Get your nose out of there, kid. There's nothing good can come of it. All right, so today I'm going to talk about cancer. Not the disease. It's a terrible disease, and it's cost a lot of people their lives. And I personally think that it's from anything that's a constant irritant, whether it's environmental or if it's something that you're doing, like smoking, or if you're constantly irritating your gut, things like that. You can get I think that's where cancer comes from, really. And the cells just sort of click, and it's because they're constantly being irritated. So anyway, that's just my take on it. I am not an oncologist, but I am a physician. And so if you have any questions about cancer, if you have questions about treatment options or things like that, I would be happy to discuss things with anyone. No, these people you call cancer, too many of them in my life, highly emotional sidesteppers. Well, I was going to mention that they oftentimes will become angry, spout off about something, and then later go, oh, gee, I wish I hadn't have said that. Sometimes minutes later, and they wish they wouldn't have said that. And so then they'll be coming and apologizing because they really are sensitive people. But they're the kind of sensitive that they tend to have this rough exterior that says, don't screw with me, don't even talk to me. When in reality, they're kind of a big softie that really would like a little bit of attention and some, a cookie and some milk or something, and just a pat on the back, because they're decent people who tend to wear their heart on their sleeve, and but they try to be tough about things, so then people don't know how sensitive they really are, or that what that person just said, hurt their feelings. So, because I think what happens is they're more emotional than they like to let people know. And so then they have this tough exterior. So when you hurt their feelings, they get angry and spout off instead of crying or really, letting you know, gosh, that hurt. So anyway, that's kind of sometimes tough to deal with. Oh, by the way, that's Sparky. We've taken to calling the head Sparky because my Sparks passed away, and so and I just miss the guy like crazy. He was like a right arm, and I miss him so much. He was just a wonderful person. Constantly, looking for ways to either make me smile or, oh, thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. He was always looking for a way to make me smile or laugh or just, just be there. And gosh, I miss him. And Lauren, I'm sorry for your loss too, Lauren, because it's tough, and that's what, Sparky had stage 4 cancer. And he it was like 8 months after his diagnosis that he passed away, and he's greatly missed by all of us that knew him. And so yeah, but the other cancer that I want to talk to you about is a little crab. It's a crab. Cancer's depicted by a crab, so of course they're water signs, because what else would a crab be? Although I find it weird that, what was the one? It was Aquarius is actually an air sign, which I thought was a little bit odd, but is what it is. But in this case, it's pretty self-explanatory, and the cancers are water signs, and the moon is linked with motherhood and their moon sign, and they are born caregivers. Their instincts are to love, nurture, and protect without asking for much in return. A tough nut to crack, because inside you're the softest, most beautiful soul, sensitive and easily hurt. Once you care and let people into your enormous heart, you don't quite know how to give them up. And not only that, but oh, Lauren, you're a Gemini. Awesome. That's cool. Sam is also a Gemini. And Sparky was a Gemini. And let's see, my grandmother was a Gemini. So I get along pretty well with most all Geminis. They can be a bit challenging, but hey, who isn't? Libras are challenging for sure. So then it says you'll offer the coat off your back, a warm, safe place to spend a few nights, and a nourishing meal. It won't even matter your mind that you are inconvenienced or put out of pocket for a while. The people you love come first. And that's kind of really where cancers are at. Are they are looking to make the people around them happy and comfortable, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they're a little bit into their feelings, but who isn't sometimes? And I get the hard exterior, because sometimes you don't want to let on how much you care about somebody, or how much you're worried about them, or your angst, or whatever it is you're feeling. You just you don't want to let everyone know that that's what's going on with you. And so yeah, then they have that kind of outer crusty shell. Okay, I got a story about change for you guys. Okay, I know I keep freezing up a little bit. I'll try and take it slow. Lobsters. Lobsters that they live up there in like around Maine and stuff. Well, anyway, when the lobster he's growing, so when he gets too big, his shell starts to feel real uncomfortable. and he starts to, rub up on rocks, and he's rubbing up on his fellow lobsters and stuff, and he's trying to get that uncomfortable feeling off of him. So what he does, he finally pops out of his shell. Well, when he pops out of the shell, when he pops out of his shell, he's a little bit vulnerable because he's all soft and stuff, and something could eat him, But he hides out under the rock. Eventually, he gets a little bit harder shell until he's a bigger, better, harder shelled lobster, and he can go about his business, And so change sometimes is hard. It's like busting out of your shell, You got to bust out of that shell to be the bigger, better lobster. So there you go. That's my lobster story. Oh, thank you, Mort. It was something I just threw together, like literally. Moving at any time is shitty. And it's tough because you can't find any of your clothes, and none of your things. And it's like, oh, I know I had one of those, but I'm not sure where it is. So, I kind of am just living with it and just making the best of things. And but thank you, Mort, for that. Yeah. Well, and I do a lot of accents. The other day at the grocery, the bodega was actually Hy-Vee, but I went into the Hy-Vee, and this young man at the checkout was talking about something about some old dude lived in the old country back in the 1600s. I said, well, did he sound something like this? And he looked at me, and I think I embarrassed him. So I just kept on going, of course, and I said, yes, in 1600 something, that probably would have been what he sounded like. And so I wondered if that was what you were talking about. And I think then he was like totally embarrassed, and he wouldn't say another word after that. So I said, well, thank you very much, young man. And I left the store. Him never knowing if that was really my accent or not. So I love to play, little pranks on people sometimes, stuff like that. It's pretty harmless, but it's fun and funny. It makes me laugh, because I leave the store and I go, he probably thinks I'm English. So, yeah, it's just fun to prank people sometimes. I used to love that show. Hey, Anna, how's it going? I used to love that show, Punked. Oh my gosh, they got some people so good sometimes. And another good one. It was a radio show, I think. And they would call in. They'd call people up and they'd say, well, we're going to come dig up your septic system today. You're ready for that, right? And these people would be like, I didn't order that. You're not coming here and doing that to me. Yeah, stuff like that, Like, yep, we're going to come take all your furniture for you today. We know you're moving. Wait, I'm not moving. Just funny stuff like that, Get them all worked up in that. So I enjoy sadistic humor. Not even gonna sugarcoat it. If somebody, trips on a stair, or if they, have some sort of incident, or they, and they're not hurt really, they're just, maybe slightly embarrassed. That's my favorite kind of humor. So anyway, I like the sadistic humor. And satire is another thing. Like, some people say, well, you're making fun of them. Well, yeah, kind of in a way, but it's a fun way. It's a fun and funny way. They might not like it, but hey, if everyone else is having fun, it was worth it. Listen, oh yeah, the radio pranks, they're fun. They're so funny. Oh gosh. So then, in love and relationships, if you're attracted to someone, and you're a Cancer, it scares you. Your first instinct is to hide and think it through. which usually means worrying about how it'll all pan out. So you kind of tend to be an overthinker, and which is never really good. Um, you can talk yourself out of a good idea just by overthinking. So try not to overthink too much. Your mind spins out before you know any real facts about your stranger. And so training your imagination will probably turn out to be a lifetime's endeavor. And you'll have such something of a learning process as you get older and better understand your own and others' requirements in relationships. You'll learn to be more realistic. But you, more than any other zodiac sign, have the emotional capacity and understanding to navigate the human heart. Aw, that's nice. And my friend, who's a Cancer, has been married to her husband for, let's say, like 35 years. They've been together for a really long time. And so, congrats and more power to you guys. They're a lovely couple. and so I know that you're Mort's an overthinker too. So I know that they have the capacity to love and let themselves be loved. So I think that's a big thing too. If you don't allow someone to love you, you're not going to find it, because like that person that's just dying to show you love and affection, or to get to know you better or something, they might just be dying to do that, but they feel like you're resistant to it, so they don't try. And then you don't know they're even interested, and so then it never comes to pass, when it might have been something really good. So just allow that to happen. If you're resistant, like, oh, I'm never going to fall in love, or it's for me, it was, no one's ever going to love me. That's just like a surefire way to not have love in your life, because it's like you have to leave a space open for it. If you don't leave a space open for it, it's not going to come into your life. That's just, that's a general statement there. So if you want something in your life, leave a space for it to come in, and that's always good. So then with let's see. Most compatible love signs for Cancer are Taurus, Capricorn, or Scorpio. Least compatible would be Aquarius, Sagittarius, or Libra. So I think Libras and Cancer, like Cancers, they feel things. They're in their feelings, whereas Libras are like, screw your feelings. Let's take a look at this realistically. So yeah, we're kind of not as touchy-feely, kind of. I mean, although we're affectionate people and we like to flirt, but I don't know, I think we're not as in our feelings as the Cancers are. Let's see. It says crabby boss. I'm not going to say anything to that. Most compatible colleagues would be another Cancer, a Virgo, or a Pisces. The least would be Leo, Libra, or Gemini. And then ideal Cancer careers would be nurse, teacher, social services, because then, that they have a little heart. They have, they help people. Relationship counselor, insurance, gardener, midwife, museum worker, chef, or security guard. Let's see, they dislike feeling uncomfortable, so getting sweaty and breathless isn't their thing, and aggressive forms of exercise disturb their equilibrium. So they're better off to do something like yoga, walking, dancing, swimming, something that's a bit more soothing is better for them. So, perfect, Leo. Hey, Joanne, next month is you. So, yep, see, here we go. Next month is Leo. So yes, I have loads and loads of stories for you with Leos. Um, I like Leo, um, Leo women, and I tend to be very passive in that friendship. If I'm friends with a Leo woman, I tend to be very passive, and I just kind of let them take the lead because that's where they would like to be. They want to get out there and get that gazelle and rip it down to the ground and kill it and then drag it home and then just sit there and watch him eat. So, but yeah, they're I love Leos, and Leo and Libra, they're kind of a compatible set, much like with Gemini. Libra and Gemini are pretty compatible as well because we're both fun loving, chatty, kind of um, carefree sort of people. Maybe I'm not quite as carefree as a Gemini, but I'm still I have a little art project I'm going to work on. It's a little embroidered thing about this big. It says, "I can't adult today." I was going to make that for myself because there's days like that. I just can't adult today. Sorry, kids. And that's why I'm glad I am in a living situation that's fairly compatible with that. I can just sort of, you know, say I gotta bow out today. Sorry, kids, and do that because fibromyalgia sucks, and some days it just is more than I can take. So I'm trying to make my life accommodating to that and be able to have those days if I need to, and be able to. Uh, oh, Mort, you're a Pisces. That's in February. I did those in February. You sometimes you will overthink too because you're like the fish, You're this way and then that way. It's like, yes, I think I will. No, maybe I shouldn't. I says this and that, and then, but maybe I should, and then I could do that, and then, no, I don't think I will. you know. Uh, Yeah, your body does know when you need rest or if you need something in particular, your body does kind of have a way of telling you. I needed more vitamin D, vitamin D. So I ended up getting some from the doctor actually because it was really high, dosage. And I can't forget to take it on Wednesday. I only take it once a week, so it's kind of I have to be sure and remember to take it once a week. So, well, kids, I've been at this for uh, almost 25 minutes, and I think I'm going to call that good today. So, I will tune in. You can tune. Oh, White Russians. That sounds good. White Russian and a nice J. Sounds really good. So, yeah, a little alcohol, a little pot. Sounds like a good combo to me. Yes, I will. Thank you, Julie. You have a good night as well. Join me Wednesday when I'll be here for uh, Madam After Dark. And I'm not sure what we'll talk about. We're always, looking into BDSM topics. Last week I did cat bondage. Well, I did harness for Sally. Sally, she can get out of those store bought ones, so I had to do bondage, and then she can't get away. So anyway, tune in. Maybe we'll do more cat bondage, but hopefully we'll find a person or something to. It was funny. She's a good sport, and honestly, it's a good way to keep her. From getting away at campgrounds and stuff. And it doesn't hurt her. She consents because she'll sit there for it. That's her. What do they call it? Informed consent. I've told her, well, here's the risks. If you stay, that's tantamount to consent. So yeah, there you go. But anyway, tune in again Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Hopefully I'll be on time this time. Same channels. I'll be on YouTube and Facebook Skeleton Key and Facebook Madam. Tonight we're also on Things, and I thank them very much for hosting us. And good night, everybody. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in once again this week, and I'll see you hopefully on Wednesday. So blessed be everybody.